Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Stanley with Standley Handcrafted, and today we're going to be talking about wholesale pricing, private label pricing, and white label pricing. Basically how to go about it, what I do. Again, before I get into this one, I want to say this is all personal preference. This isn't a hard set rule, so if you're looking for exact numbers or anything like that, I'm sure there's some stuff out there. This is basically what I do and some of the advice that I give people that ask me about these things. And of course, with any of my rules, any of the advice that I give, it's all taken with a grain of salt. All this stuff can be adjusted by pennies, dollars, whatever you want to do. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Now, I'm sure everybody's seen the wholesale video. If you haven't seen the wholesale video, I'll try to go ahead and link it up here or up here, somewhere around, but I do have it in the video section. So I go through and I talk about how to calculate your candles. And again, if you haven't seen it, I do have a candle cost calculator on my website and a video also that goes into it, so you can plug in all your information, the wax, the oils, the shipping, and get a full cost of exactly how much your candles should be. The only thing that's not in that cost calculator is your hourly wage, and I left that one off just because I wanted to price the candle itself and everything that goes into it. There's a lot more that goes into the candles, like driving around, your gas and everything like that, the electricity for everything in here, all that goes into a candle as well. But the reason I left those off is because that's going to be different for everybody. My house, your house, anybody else's house, the pricing on that stuff could be wildly different. So there's really no easy way to put that into a calculator, so I wanted to leave it at just the product itself. So basically what you do is you go through, you calculate the cost of your candle, and you want to factor in some other things like your hourly wage or anything like that, however much you're paying yourself to make these candles. So let's just go ahead and take the 8-ounce jelly jar that I make, because it's the easiest one. It's just the one that the calculator is based off of. I've got a video on it. It's a candle that a lot of people use, so the price on this one should be relatively the same. This one cost right around, like, let's call it $2.50. I think it's a little bit more than that, like $2.54, but we're gonna go ahead and call it $2.50, and that's just the cost of the candle, not my hourly wage. Let's go ahead and bump that one up a little bit depending on how many you can make. So we're gonna call this candle $3 to make, which of course, if you're looking at wholesale, you're gonna wanna double that. So we're gonna go ahead and call wholesale on that candle $6. So that, of course, and of course I pick up library books, which is a terrible scent for me. So this candle, $6 at wholesale. So if a business or a shop or a boutique or anything like that wanted to come and get this candle from me, wholesale cost on this one is $6. And then of course, if they order a certain amount, I drop them down just a little bit. So if they order 100 or more, I usually drop it down just a little bit to give them a little bit of a price break. And then of course, if there's shipping on top of that, I always charge for shipping unless they're local, and then I don't charge for anything. I can just drive it to them. But basically that covers my cost, and it gives the shop enough room to bump that candle up. And basically what the shop is gonna do is they're gonna double that. They're gonna price it at $12. If it's a different candle, or if you have your wholesale prices different, like 7 or 8 or whatever, you're gonna wanna give the you're gonna wanna give the shop room to double that, because that's usually what retail is on top of wholesale. Wholesale is twice your cost, and retail is twice wholesale. So basically you're gonna take your cost times 2, and then they're gonna take wholesale times 2. Where it gets a little bit tricky, and this is where I alter my prices, and that's when you go into private label or white label. And that's basically when you sell your candles with nothing on them, or you're putting somebody else's labels on your candles, or you're just shipping them blank to the person or the shop or whoever, and they're putting their own labels on. So that's where you get into private label and white label, and the pricing on that is a little bit different. Now the pricing for me on private label and white label, I actually raise them up a little bit. So instead of selling the candle for $6, I would sell them for around 7 or 8, depending on what it is, and actually make a little bit more money on that. Now the reason I do that, and a lot of people would say, well, why aren't you raising the prices, or why aren't you lowering the prices, because you're not putting the labels or anything like that. And the reason I raise the prices on private label and white label is because that candle is leaving my shop, and there's no potential for a customer to see that and basically come back to my website and buy another candle. So there is no future advertising, there's no future marketing, there's no future customer interaction that's gonna pick up that candle, because they're seeing the new shop's label on that. So if that person buys that candle from the shop, they're gonna come back to the shop and they're gonna try to buy more candles, and then you hope that that shop will come back to you and buy more candles. So I'm basically gonna make more money up front and then hope that the shop comes back. Whereas if I send this candle out to a shop, this customer may not go back to that shop. They may come back to my website and buy more candles. So lowering the prices on these, I basically take that into consideration and consider that promotional or marketing costs, because no matter where I ship these, somebody's gonna see Stanley Handcrafted on this candle. They're gonna know where it comes from, and I'm potentially gonna get future sales from that. Whereas private label and white label, I'm not gonna see those customers ever. Now, depending on the type of candle that you make, raising those prices, like I said, I go from $6 up to $7 immediately. And of course you can adjust that. That's not a hard set rule like I mentioned before. So you could do $6.50. It really doesn't matter. I just wanna make more money off of that because I know I'm not gonna see that customer again. And there's a potential that that shop is not gonna come back either, because you just don't know how well they're gonna sell the candles through their shop. Of course, if they sell them out, most likely they're gonna come back and they're gonna buy more from you, and that's definitely gonna benefit you. So that's pretty much it on this one. Like I said, it's not a real hard set rule. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that do it a little bit different. I'm sure there are people that sell their private and white label for a little bit less because they're not putting expensive labels. Depends on what labels you have also. My labels are really cheap, so it's not that much of a hit. But some people do have really nice labels on there, so they can afford to sell them at the same cost. And again, that's gonna be up to you and basically how you make your candles and everything that goes into them. If there's anything in this video that I did skip over or gloss over, and I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that goes into wholesale, private label, white label, that I probably missed in this one. So if I did miss something that stands out to you, please ask in the comments down below. I'll try to go through and answer every single one of them. And then of course, again, this conversation will continue on the DIY Facebook group. I think we just hit 20,000. We're getting close to 21,000 members. So there's a lot of really active people in there talking, not only about these videos, but about their own candle products. So there's a lot more people that have some ideas about private label, white label. So if you don't like my answer, or you want to get further details into my answers and some other people's answers and some other people's ideas, the DIY Facebook group is a great place to go to. So definitely jump over there, sign up, and introduce yourself into one of the share threads. We try to post them weekly to get everybody in there. Just highlight your website, your groups, your profiles, everything like that, your newest creations, candles. And of course, you can follow me on all the social media platforms down below: Instagram, Facebook, my website. The email address is down below if you want to reach out and ask me something. And of course, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.